Hi, this is Gail with BERNINA of Naperville, and surprise, surprise, it is Bloom and Grow Lesson 4, and I'm nowhere near my BERNINA L890 Quilters edition or my regular L890 Serger. You know why? Because we're going to do some quilting this month using our number 72S ruler work foot and our new BERNINA 990 with that built-in BERNINA integrated stitch regulation. So we're going to keep it easy. We're going to use a template set from Amanda Murphy from Good Measure, and it's going to be the leaf set number 1, along with that number 72S foot. Additionally, we're going to do our first couple strips of sewing or quilting or whatever, because we're doing this quilt as you go with a walking foot. And I thought that there was no better walking foot to use this time around than that new limited edition red BERNINA walking foot. So let's have a look at that and let's get started.
So just a little reminder, if you're joining us for the first time watching our Bloom and Grow sew-along, or Serge-a-long rather, we have had 3 other lessons that have premiered on our BERNINA of Naperville YouTube channel, and you're welcome to watch those completely free. But what you're looking at now is part of a presentation deck that I use as an additional handout in addition to the pattern that you may have received for the Bloom and Grow pattern, and in addition to the BERNINA Skill Hub courses that you may have received for this. And if you haven't received them, it's pretty easy. If you want to join us, you can purchase the kit from BERNINA of Naperville, and the kit includes our videos, of course, this presentation deck that you're looking at, and also a voucher to get the Bloom and Grow Serger Quilt instructions right from the BERNINA Skill Hub. And the BERNINA Skill Hub is the direct to customer training center that BERNINA puts together for you. And you just simply have to create an account, and then you get the access codes that we send you when you buy the kit, and enter that in lieu of a credit card to buy your Bloom and Grow lesson on the BERNINA Skill Hub. You'll simply scroll down until you find the Bloom and Grow. There it is. And then you can see they have a lot of other courses too, but this is the one we're focusing on today, Bloom and Grow. So you click that, you put it into your cart, you go to your little cart icon, you check out, you confirm that it's you purchasing it. Then you're going to go ahead. I don't need this one. I'm going to take that one out of there. You go to checkout. And then it does ask you if you have a promotional code. And that is going to be your access codes that you get from us when you purchase your kit. So then you just click on that. You add your access codes. They're going to start with BSH, blah, blah, blah. And once you add that and place your order, that $300 changes to $0. So you don't have to fill out any of your payment method, but you will have to give a little bit of information about yourself. Then once you have actually purchased it, the course goes right onto your dashboard, and then you can go through all of the different lessons that BERNINA has put together for you. Now, one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is that we changed ours up just a little bit. We're doing ours as a quilt as you go process. And so that makes it a little bit out of order from the way that Mary shows you in the BERNINA Skill Hub courses. So what I recommend is watch the Skill Hub courses, watch our videos, and then kind of determine how you would like to make it. Because you know what? You are the captain of your own adventure, ladies and gentlemen. And so you can see in every presentation deck that I send you, you're going to get the other presentation decks and videos that I put together. So you're not going to miss out on anything if you're joining us partial way through. And I also kind of give you some tips on how to make the most of the Serge-a-long and so forth. So in this lesson, this is one of our quilting lessons because in lesson 3, we made the bow tie blocks and the improv blocks. So now we want to quilt those together onto section 1 of our Quilt As You Go process. So the supplies that you're going to need for this lesson is the 97D foot or other dual feed patchwork feet, or maybe even that Bernina walking foot that I'm using today. The Every Leaf template set number 1 or Every Leaf template set number 2, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. You're going to need the adjustable ruler work foot, a machine quilting needle in size 90, little scissors, quilting gloves, Supreme slider, whatever you want for doing your quilting. And I've also given you links to the products that we're using in our demonstration. So here is the section right here in green that we're going to be adding to our section 1 strip. So we're adding the improv block, and then we're adding the bow tie block, and we're even adding this little teal strip out of fabric S that's about 2 inches by 32.5 inches. And let's have a look at how we're going to get this done. So here is the pieces that we quilted in lesson 2, and this is our improv block that we created in lesson 3. And we have our improv block, our bow tie blocks, and a little strip here of fabric S that's 2 inches by 32.5 inches. That's going to be attached to the bottom of the bow tie block. And remember, this is just section 1 of our Bloom and Grow because we're doing this quilt as you go. So we're still on section 1 segment. So in order to stitch this onto our piece here, I'm going to take my piece and I'm going to flip it right side down along the bottom edge of this piece. And this isn't a perfect length. I'm going to trim it up afterwards, but I'm just lining it up so that this raw edge is even. And this would be a good time to pin if you chose to do that. I have to say, I just love the 14 inches to the right of the needle on this machine because I can squeeze all of this extra stuff under here and I don't even notice it really. So if you haven't gotten your Bernina 990 yet, you're gonna love it. All right, so just a little FYI, I do have my machine loaded with my Serger light gray thread in the top and in the bobbin. And if we look right here on our walking foot, right at that little guide right there, you can see that that is the 1/4 of an inch from center needle position. So I'm going to line my raw edge of my fabric up just there. And now that's going to be my 1/4 inch seam allowance. Isn't it fun to have a project where you can use all of the toys in the toy box? So once over at your iron, then you're going to simply fold this over and press. And now we're simply going to repeat for our bow tie blocks here, lining that up right side down. And remember, this piece was a little bit longer, so I'm lining it up even with my original side here. And the same over here. This edge is getting lined up with the edge there. Now, of course, the Bernina 990 has dual feed, and I could have certainly used my 97D foot, but quite honestly, I just wanted to play with my little red foot. Is that okay? All right, I have too many toys, everybody, too many toys. All right, so now we're gonna stitch our bow tie block on. Oh no, I sewed over a pin. Please don't do that at home. Okay, so I pressed my bow tie blocks over just like I did with my improv blocks. And you can see I just forgot to trim this piece to size. So don't worry about that. You know, we'll deal with this when we go to add our pieces onto the side, so no big deal. And then I've pinned my fabric S, which is 2 inches by 32.5 inches, down to the bottom of my bow tie block. And then you can see the little piece there. All right. Lots of smoke and mirrors in my projects, ladies and gentlemen. So by stitching and flipping, what we've managed to do is baste this little 3-strip portion of our quilt together. So now let's pull out our good measure rulers from Amanda Murphy and see how we're going to quilt this month. When we quilted our string pieced block, we did some free motion and we did straight lines with the every angle ruler. Well, this time we're going to use the leaf templates, and this is from her Leaf Template Set 1, and she has a video on her YouTube channel that you should definitely check out. We have a link in our handout for this, and you can watch what she does with these templates for other projects. But for our first row, which is going to be our improv block, we're going to use the 5.5-inch leaf ruler here. I'm also going to be using my Reggie's quilting gloves, so let me put those on, because you know I always forget to put them on and then I can't get a good grip. So these have these little rubbery dots on the bottom of them like this, and I like this. I also like that I can then use my other 2 fingers to kind of touch the screen of the sewing machine or my phone or whatever. And then obviously I showed you this earlier, but we're going to use the 72S. And of course the S stands for the slit, which is right here. It's not that important for this project this month because I'm not going to be hopping back and forth from regular free motion to ruler working. But you know what? I use my slit for my ruler working, and I use my 72 regular for my cup clips and my couching clips and the echo quilting clips. So this is the perfect height for making a little, I call it like a spirograph design across here. So what I'm going to be doing is 1 leaf, and then I'm going to be using these registration marks to interlock my leaves together. So if you can use your imagination here on these registration marks on the ruler, you can see that we're going to make a row where the leaves touch, and then I'm going to offset and do the row on top of it where they all link together like this. So the first thing that we're going to do, if we look at the presentation handout that you're getting, those of you that have already joined our Bloom and Grow Sew Along, there you can see in this that my green set is what we're going to quilt first. Then we're going to come back on top of it and offset it a half leaf and do our red stitching. Okay, so let's just get started with this. Now, with my number 72 S foot selected on my machine and my 5.5 Bernina integrated stitch regulator needle plate placed on my machine. Remember, that's the one that's got the little opening so that we can see the sensor with the integrated Bernina stitch regulator. I'm now going to go down to my menu button, that's the hamburger button, and I can access the Bernina stitch regulation 2 ways. I've got the BISR right here, or I can touch the home button, and I can touch the Bernina integrated stitch regulation there. Either way will work. And then I get my Bernina stitch regulator screen, where I have straight stitch or zigzag,
I'm going to do expert mode or beginner mode or basting. I'm not going to do basting today. So I'm picking the BSR mode 1. And BSR mode 1 is what I'm going to choose because the needle is going to go up and down rhythmically so that I can knot my stitches and get nice points. So I want to slow that down. I like to do this at 150 stitches, revolutions per minute. And if that's too slow pushing the button, I can use my knob to get that to 150. And now I want to just go up 2 more clicks to 14 stitches per inch. That's just my personal preference. And then here is where I can decide how I want to make the machine motor move. And I'm choosing to do the kickstart. That's where I take my heel and just press it on the foot control like a button. I'm not holding anything. I'm not using my foot control press down. I'm literally just pressing the heel of the foot control to start the machine and then pressing the heel of the foot control to stop. While I'm doing my stitch regulation, my foot is completely off of the foot control. So let's give this a try. So one of the things with this block, it's not quite, I can't position this registration line perfectly on my seam, nor can I position this one. So I'm just going to kind of line them up about 1/8 of an inch away from my seam line. And then I'm going to start getting my thread tucked under that slit. And I'm going to start right here on this line, placing my presser foot down. And now I have not hit my kickstart button yet, so I can use my heel tap to put my needle down and bring my needle up. And now, of course, I'm pulling my bobbin thread up. I'm going to lift my presser foot and grab that thread. Using once again this foot to tuck everything under and make it pretty. Okay. And now I'm going to put my threads towards the front here. I'm also going to make sure that there's no obstructions on my quilt, and I can move that around. I'm sorry if it's shaking the camera a little bit. All right, here we go. And all I'm doing is pressing the kickstart button on my machine. Now the machine is prompting me to just simply heel tap to start the process. And now here we go. And I'm using that leaf template as my guide. I'm going to stop for just a minute to cut my threads. Okay, here we go. And now I'm going to stop where I started. Perfect. Heel tap to stop. Sorry you didn't get to see that, but there's going to be many opportunities for you. And so now I'm going to back up here, line my piece up straight, and now this time I'm going to go around my leaf all the way, and then I'm going to travel down here and back to the starting point so I can move my ruler forward. Remember, I'm traveling back down through this previous stitching. To get back to the center.
And now I'm going to stop, move my piece, and this time I'm going to go this direction and then double stitch on this side. And I'm just going to continue in this fashion all the way down my strip. You hear that beeping? That's the police coming after me. I'm moving too fast, everybody. Okay, now we're going to move the ruler. And now this time we're going to go this way around and double stitch on this side, making sure I line everything up nicely. Just get a better grip, so that's why I stop sometimes. All right, so now that I've done my little leaves, my first row, it's time to do the offset row. And the offset row is going to start by lining up my light gray markings on my ruler just there over my previous stitches and adding the piece into the middle. But the pattern is done just the same. So I would start here, go around, stop, move my ruler, line everything up, then go around, and then back, and then double track and stop, move, go around, double track, but go the other direction. So you're alternating which seams have double stitching and which seams have the single stitching. Now this time around, I was feeling like I didn't have enough slipperiness, so I'm adding my little Supreme slider down here to just give the bed of my machine a little bit more smoothness. They do make these in various sizes. I probably will invest in a larger piece for my $9.90 down the road. And another thing, you will have to perform a little bit of surgery on your Supreme slider to make sure that you're not covering your little window there on your needle plate, so we can still get our Bernina stitch regulation. Okay, then it's time to move it down, and this time to alternate which direction I'm going. I'm going to go this direction so I can double stitch over on this side. Got to rearrange just a little bit, excuse me. Got to get it out of the way of the tripod, you know. Be thankful that I hope that you guys don't sew at home with a tripod in your lap. Let's just say that.
So I'm slowly trying to improve on my ruler work skills here, and this one was a little bit of a challenge for me. You've seen my videos before. I'm kind of devil may care, and I just go for it because at the end of the day, I truly feel that quilting is just adding texture. And once I wash this, it's just texture. Everything's going to be fine. People are going to admire it, and I'll feel good about a job well done. Now, let's look at maybe a little bit of a project as far as this same type of template that might be a little bit easier for you. So here is the 3.5-inch leaf template, and I'm going to place this one on there cathedral window style. And what does that mean? That means that there's going to be a hump here, then it humps over, then it humps down, then it humps up, then it humps over. And there's a way that I can do it all the way down, all the way around, and all the way back without starting and stopping the thread. So if you look at this page from my presentation deck that you'll be getting if you, once again, signed up for our sew-along, you'll see that this pattern is how you're going to do it without breaking the thread. But once again, maybe you want to practice on a little piece before you give this a try. So let's get this under the machine and do it. All right, so the way that this is going to work is I'm going to start on this piece right here. And I am not going to use the full leaf shape. I'm only going to use a curve. This is just the way I do it, and I found works for me. And I have to be honest with you, I can also do this technique without the use of ruler working. My brain just has done so many of these designs before, but I'm going to line this up so that my seam allowance is kind of going right down from corner to corner.
So with leaf set number 1, you have 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, and 6.5-inch leaf templates. When you go to the leaf set 2, you have 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch. So what I really needed was the 4-inch piece from leaf set 2, but I was able to make leaf set 1, the 3.5-inch piece, fit by when I got to the middle of the leaf. I just kind of scooched things a little bit to elongate the leaf. So I think this could have been my piecing. I think it could be a lot of things, but there is lots of improvising in quilting. So just remember that.
All right, so I switched back to my smaller piece because I think it's actually working better. So now I just did the little curve going over this direction. Now I'm doing the curve going up to the top here. There we go. And now this time I am going to use the other side just to get back down to that intersection. And now I'm going to turn this around and hop over this way. And then I'm just going to elongate my piece just a little bit here like this to get to that corner. Changing it up to go back the other direction. Here we go. And now let's just hop to the corner there. There we go. And now down this side. And then I'm just going to cheat by pulling it down a little bit. There we go. And now we're going to hop over here. This is much easier than the other
one we just did. So now I'm going to go to the middle and just pull this over to the corner like that. So I can go right down to that seam. We're going to go up. And then when you get right to the middle, decide if you need to readjust. And all this is doing is kind of elongating this leaf. I get to the middle, I'm going to elongate it just a little bit. There we go. Ta-da. Turn it over and go this way now. Get halfway through, stop, slide it just a little bit. Then go down to the seam, turn it around, go up this way. Get to the middle point, move the ruler up just a little bit. There we go. Now we're going to come down to the middle, stop, move it just a little bit, and get to the seam there. And now we're going to move again. Here we go. I'm here at the middle. I'm going to cheat to go down to this corner and stop. Turn my piece. Get to the middle, slide it up a little bit, stop, come down, slide it down just like 1/4 inch, move my ruler, my ruler, slide it down a little bit. Down, get to the middle, slide it down here. There we go. Turn. Get to the middle, slide it down a little bit, because see how this line and this line intersect right at that corner? That's where we're aiming for. Perfect. Now I'm going to turn this. Go up to the middle, just slide it a little bit. There we go. Halfway down, stop, slide it down just a little bit. And go to the center, turn around, get to the center here, move it down a little bit. And now we're going to hump up to this piece here. To the middle, slide it down just a little bit. Perfect. Now we're going to bump over. We're not going to go down because we have our little pieces here. We're just going to hump, hump, hump over. So you're going to like this. Do the Humpty Dumpty. Down to the middle, and then cheat just a little bit like this. so we get to that seam. Get to here, go to the middle, and the middle's right there. Then move like a little 1/4 of an inch or so and finish off the hump. Stop, go to the middle, stop, finish off the hump. And so now we have this nice, let's just move this for a minute. Down, over, up, like that, see? It creates a nice pattern. When you get to the center, you just slide it over so you can get back to that seam. So now we're going to hump down, going halfway and stopping, and then cheating the ruler down just a little bit so we can get to that corner. All right, so now we're going to repeat what we did up here, down here, and then we'll hump back. Okay, so this time I'm going to go down here. We go halfway, we cheat with our ruler just a little bit to get down to the seam. There we go. And now we're going to smooth this out. And go halfway again. Cheat over just a little bit. Stop and go up. And I'm lining, it's hard to see. In fact, let me turn my quilt around so you can see better going around this other way. Okay. So I'm going to line my ruler straight along this seam, and it's time to go down this way and up this way. But see how the ruler ends before I need to get there? That's why we cheat. So let's watch this again. So I'm going to go forward, get to the middle mark, registration mark on this ruler. Now I'm going to slide the ruler down so that this line and this line is right at that seam. And now look, it lands right there. Now I'm going to go back up, stop at the middle, and cheat my ruler forward a little bit so I can land in that intersection right at the top. Now I'm going to turn it and go this direction. Remember, I have to cheat to make the ruler a little bit longer. Okay, turn it down, follow the lines, go halfway, stop, move the ruler, then go back up halfway, stop, move the ruler, turn, halfway, cheat, down. halfway stop, move the ruler, back up, halfway stop, move the ruler, stop on the intersection, turn, stop, move the ruler to elongate it, stop at the intersection, turn, stop, move the ruler, get to the intersection, move halfway up, move the ruler just a little bit, get back up to the intersection, stop. Move the ruler, stop, elongate it, move, cheat it down a little bit so we can stop there, go back up, move it up just a little bit, turn, cheat it just a little bit, turn it, cheat it down just a little bit. There we go. Move it back up, cheat it up just a little bit, move the ruler, I forgot to move my ruler there, so that one little hump is going to look weird. And now we're going to go down. Always at that halfway point, move your ruler. There we go. Perfect. Now we're going to hump over. That sounds weird, don't you think? Get to the middle, cheat a little. There we go. Get to the middle, cheat a little. 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 Get to the middle, cheat a little, get to the middle, cheat a little. And this is our last one. I'm going to take this out and I'm just going to stitch, knot my thread, and cut. I think this looks pretty good. It is a little harder when you're doing these spiral ones or the spirograph type ones to stitch right on top of where you want stitched. You're going to develop new hand muscles that you didn't know you had. But all in all, I think this is just the right amount of quilting.
to practice so that you can improve your skills without feeling overwhelmed. So let's just do a little free motion loopity-loop in this little border area. So if you've never seen the 74 cup clip foot before, it's adjustable, it's clear. That's what this one is. It just was handy, so I'm going to put it on my machine. Tell it that I have the 74 on here. And I love how the new 990 shows us foot information like that.
And one thing I would give you some advice to do, which I did not do here, is stitch down the little flappy end of this light blue strip, because it will save you a little bit of the wiggles as you go through this. So learn from what I didn't do, ladies and gentlemen.
Notice how I'm trying to come to a complete stop every time I rearrange my fabric with the integrated Bernina stitch regulator, and that's simply because I don't want to kind of wiggle things around while that little sensor down there is still active. All right, what do you think? It was a little bit challenging for me. You know, I am still learning ruler working, but I think that this quilt is a perfect opportunity to really hone those skills without too much commitment and without wearing you down, right? So if you enjoyed this, you're gonna love next month when we make wonky lopsided log cabins. I've been looking forward to this one because it's one of my favorite kind of things to do, even on my regular sewing machine. So thank you so much. Hope that you enjoy any kind of quilting that you do on your quilt, because don't forget, you still have the Bernina Skill Hub courses, and you could do it. You could do this Bloom and Grow quilt just the Bernina way, or you can sew along with me and do it our Quilt as you go method. And just because I'm doing certain kind of ruler working on mine doesn't mean that you couldn't bust out those free motion skills that you might already have. So I thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more tips and tricks and tutorial videos and all kinds of other stuff, we've got tons of stuff on our Bernina of Naperville YouTube channel. It's easy to find. It's youtube.com/Bernina of Naperville. And there you can like, comment, and subscribe. Happy over quilting, overlocking quilting, Serger quilting. Happy everything for all of you over quilters.